Yo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, let's get this thing popping, man. You know what time it is. The 1% Better Show. Alexander the Blanc.
Mr. J Hill.
Yeah, man. How you doing today, bro?
I can't complain, brother.
Yes, sir, man.
Day
We
in
got
paradise.
You said what?
It's another day in paradise.
Okay.
Nah?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll take that. Paradise.
optimistic, right?
You ambitious with your
ambitious.
I told David Shands that today. You're an ambitious thinker.
You told him about me?
No, I told him he's ambitious. He's an ambitious thinker.
I'm in great company. No?
Full of shit. Yo, let's get into it. Let's get straight to it, man. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes,
Straight
sir.
from Brooklyn?
Brooklyn in the
Brooklyn,
house.
New York?
Brooklyn.
Yes. Nurse practitioner, specialized in, what is it, weight management?
Yes.
Yeah, I said it right?
Yes.
Miss Ebony is in the building. Is that it?
Yes.
Is it Ebony something or just Ebony?
Ebony Tillery.
Ebony Tillery.
Mm-hmm.
You Haitian?
No, my parents are from Guyana, South America.
Okay.
So I just said, are you?
Still on the islands or something because Tillery, okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where's Guyana? Where is that?
In South America.
Okay. Cool.
But
How you
they
West
consider
consider
it?
Indies.
West Indies?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
What's the name? Where Jordan was from?
She's from Guyana?
Yeah.
Oh, she's Guyana? Oh,
Yeah, Guyanese, yeah.
Okay.
She was talking about pepper pot and all that.
Oh, yes.
See?
Pepper pot.
Yeah, we
Every
had
Christmas.
What's better? I get you opened up. Was Guyana, because I'm assuming y'all got your own rice or no?
Mm-hmm.
Guyanese
Haitian
rice
rice.
or
Jamaican
rice?
I like the rice and peas. I do.
Oh, you was fake. Your people gonna be like, oh, she is fake.
No. See, here's the question though. The debate has been, is Guyanese food the best food in the Caribbean? A lot of people have been saying, I haven't had it myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Haitian, but I haven't had it myself. But a lot of people have been saying Guyanese food is.
It is.
It's better than Jamaican food.
Mm-hmm. And we make our oxtails better.
What makes it so much better?
We use a secret sauce for it.
Everybody
always got something secret.
Right. Tell me the secret. What's the secret?
It's a sauce. It's a secret sauce. that we
Okay.
use.
I like oxtail. Oxtail is really good. It's just the only thing I like about oxtail is like we got a lot of fat.
Mm.
You gotta cut the fat off.
Yo,
See,
so
the Jamaicans don't cut the fat
I was
off.
going to say that. So I did have some oxtail at an event one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Best oxtail I ever had. And it wasn't that it tastes so good. It was no fat on there. So I could eat it straight. I've never been able to eat oxtail straight. Oh my gosh.
Cut the fat off.
That gotta take a long time though.
Depends on like what type of oxtails you get. You can get the ones with less fat and then cut the fat off.
First of all, oxtail is expensive now, so I
It
think
is.
you
Now
get those
it
type of
is.
oxtail
It
you
is.
talking about. It's, boy.
It is,
So,
it
Ebony, what's
is.
up, man? Tell us about yourself. Like, I mean, again, we know that you nurse practitioner, specialize in weight management and things like that. But I guess before we even go there, how did you get here? Like,
So
how did
born
you
and
arrive here?
raised in Brownsville. I left New York at 18
mm.
and moved to Florida with my high school sweetheart.
Wait, why you do that? Where was your
'Cause we-
parents at?
Back in Brooklyn. They weren't happy about it, especially
Oh.
my dad wasn't happy. He's like, oh, you're going to move and you're going to have all these babies and not finish school. But I'm like, you know what type of daughter you raised. Like, my dad was the provider. My mom was a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, wow.
And I left. He just didn't like the fact that I left with a guy.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why you moved to... It seems like you had a great background, great upbringing, and you somehow just did the same...
My parents were strict.
So, okay, cool.
Strict.
They weren't strict enough. Like, I'm trying to understand how it skipped over you. Like you just move at 18. Usually, like I would think you would know better.
I had to get away. They were strict. In high school, they kind of was lenient, and they didn't know I had a boyfriend because they didn't want me to have a boyfriend until I finished college. That wasn't gonna happen.
Fact, yeah, that ain't right.
At all. And I moved with him after Well, they found out a couple of days before graduation, so they were upset. And he was at my graduation. He was a couple years older than me, and then for graduation, he took me on a trip to Nigeria for a month, and then we moved to Florida
For a month.
Yes.
How old was he?
He was 2 years older than me, so he was 20, and I was.
He sold
18.
drugs or something? It was something. Yeah. I'm like, what's going on? Like, she said she wanted to get personal with your ass. Like,
To the low.
Little draws here and there in the gang, you know.
Okay, you had her made. She had a little. She was a little kingpin.
She wasn't worried about nothing.
You know what I'm saying? She had a little kingpin. She like, with Florida, it's all lit, and then boom, reality hit. What happened?
We moved to Florida, and he became abusive.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Sorry to
And
hear
I
that.
feel like it was because I was away from family. It was just me and him.
Mm.
So he took control of that. And I didn't have to work. He took care of everything. And it was at a cost. Got me all the cars I wanted, BMW, Mercedes, all of that. But it was at a cost.
Do you think men put their hands on women because, like you said, you moved away?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is my theory. You can tell me your theory, right? I feel like only do it because, like, it's not a lot of brothers around no more. Like, back in the day, you would be scared to, like, touch a girl. Because, like, you barely could pull up to a hood because you got to walk past all these in the hoods. Like, man, it was real live repercussions that happened. You feel me? Let alone you put your hands on a girl. She got all these brothers. You can get your ass whooped.
Right.
I feel like nowadays, even, I guess, girls that got brothers, it's like, just care too much. It's gonna sound crazy. Care too much about that livelihood. Back in the day, give a damn about no jail. You gonna get your ass whooped. You touch my sister. Nowadays, it's like, you know, ain't really like it happens. Let the court deal with them. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, what do you think? And I'm not trying to make light of it, but that's just my opinion.
I just feel like it starts with their upbringing. I feel like men that are abusers, they have some kind of, I would say, hate towards their mom. What it was like, when they grew up or as they got older. Because you got to remember, a boy's first love is their mom. And the first female to hurt them in whatever manner they were hurt is their mom. So then they use that and think every female was like that. And that was my situation with my ex-husband. You know, his mom and grandma raised him, but didn't raise him the right way. His dad wasn't present, so he didn't have that father figure. And it was times where I had to tell him, look, yo, I'm not your mom or your grandma. So you don't need to treat me like this.
I still just feel like if it was some fear instilled in I don't give a damn what you know you can get your ass up, you possibly get killed, you gonna think twice. Like I don't know, I just feel like that's maybe I'm old school, so it's like I don't know. Like I think Meek said it and people like slammed him for it. A lot of these people, they don't need jail. They need to get that ass whooped. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm pro that. Like, I'm not trying to laugh, but, like, man, they think they tough. Everybody a bully until they get hit in the mouth. I think Mike Tyson said it. So it's like, it's definitely not something to laugh about, and it's definitely not something to joke about. I just feel like we need more men to step into that manly role. It's just, given the circumstance, the climate of the world right now, it's like they got too much to lose. Like, back in the day, we ain't had too much to lose. It was like, hey, you don't get your ass whooped. You play with my sister. You play with my friend. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So what? I guess I know a lot of times when we talk about women that's being abused, they don't really speak up, and it takes until like a break-in moment for you to like really come to understanding what's going on. What was that for you?
For me, so I'm a private person. So through the 6 abusive relationships I was in, nobody knew until
You said what? Wait,
6. Yeah.
Was this consecutive 6, like back to back?
Yes.
All right, I'm just trying to break this down. All right, so when we say abusive, like physically abusive, not just mentally, because mental abuse is real too.
So 4 out of the 6 were physical.
4 out of the 6?
And your father was in your life?
He was in my life. We don't have a tight-knit relationship, but he was there. He's there whenever I need him to call him, but like, I moved away. He wasn't happy about it. I'm a private person. I kind of like try to deal with things on my own. And then when I get to that breaking point, then I'm like, look, I'm going through this. Like with my divorce, nobody knew that I was dealing with that with my ex-husband until I was ready to leave. Because I've been in that first relationship. Yeah, I'm calling mom, or he's doing this, he's doing that, or my family. You're going to forgive your partner, but your family is not going to forgive your partner.
Exactly, yeah.
So I had to learn to keep things private until I know I'm leaving.
So if you can explain it to somebody that's like sometimes my thought process is like straightforward, super hardcore, right? Explain it to somebody who might not understand being in that situation. Like, what is it? How do you feel in those situations that make you feel like you can't leave, where somebody else or a friend might just be like, girl, if you don't leave that man, you educated, you don't need him, you can call the police, things like that. From somebody that's going through that, what is it that you think is keeping you?
For me, it was fear of being alone. Like I always, made decent money, but I've seen in other situations the men are the breadwinners, so the females are scared to lose. But I don't care about starting over. I started over now 7 times. I don't care. People are scared to start over. But you start over, you don't know, you may like your new beginning. And people are just fearful of starting over or having to start from the bottom and work themselves back up, or what people may think. I don't care what people think, because they're going to talk whether you're doing good or bad.
So how did you find yourself falling into this trap over and over again?
I needed to work on discernment. And I don't hold them. Nobody deserves to be beat on. But, I have to
take
do. What, as a female?
No, that's putting their hands.
Putting their hands, yeah.
I'm about to say, they definitely deserve to get their ass whooped.
But I feel like in that situations, they beat on the women who they know don't have the family support or don't have older brothers. Because I have an older brother, but he's not around. He's in jail. But if he was out, none of them, no, he don't play.
Okay.
He does not play. So I feel like they know the individual doesn't have the family support. So that's why my high school sweetheart, he wasn't abusive in the beginning. It was when we moved down to Florida and I was away from family. I have no family in Florida. And he took that to his advantage.
Do you think that now that you came out of all of that, are you able to recognize that?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Number one, if you don't have a great relationship with your mom, you're out of here.
How do you discern that? Because when you talk about discernment, like, how do you recognize that?
I ask questions, and I'm asking in the beginning.
But how do you, and that's the weird space, because it's like no one person's all alike, right? Like, how are you able to have a discerning spirit but still give grace? Because I don't have the best relationship with my mom, but I ain't put my hands on no woman. You get what I'm trying to say? But I'm pretty sure it's other men like that might not have, but that might be great men, right? Because they learned from that relationship. Like, I don't want to have that relationship with my kids or my wife and things like that. How are you able to not pin your experiences on other men as well, but still be discerning in your own self, right?
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard. And I would say I wasn't good at that, as to why it was relationship after relationship of abuse, whether it was physical or financial abuse. So you got to have discernment. I just asked, like, what's your relationship with your mom currently? How was it, when you were younger? What kind of things you guys did? Have you ever put your hands on a female?
That's crazy. I'm thinking about it, and it's like, man, our situations is just, it's like a cycle, a trauma cycle, right? Because think about it, that guy doesn't have no say if he has a good relationship with his mom or not. Well, abuse or whatever happened right there, right? And I'm thinking about your situation, like, you didn't have no say in how the men treated you. But I can see, like, a man saying, I don't want to deal with a woman who has been through that. And it's like, that ain't really your fault, though, right? Am I making sense? And do you ever look at it from that? Like,
I do, because I hear, you need to come healed. No, you don't need to come healed. You guys can heal together, because everybody has trauma. Whether you know it or not, you have trauma.
And then I don't think healed, I mean, we hear this a lot, not to regurgitate, but like, healed isn't really a destination, though, right? Like, how do you know you healed it's easy to say you healed if you're not in the situation.
Exactly.
Like, you always be like, yeah, I'm healed, man. I ain't going through that again. Then boom, you get in an argument, and you triggered, you go right back to what you was.
Being somebody behind. Like, no, you're not. No, it's a learning process. Healing is a process. You're gonna never stop healing.
So do you think you're, like, finally over those things, or in a space where, like, I don't know, you move forward comfortably?
I move forward. I wouldn't say I'm 100% healed. No, absolutely not, because it's been 6 times, but I've learned discernment, know what type of questions to ask, know when to leave, see the red flags and leave. And then for me, for each relationship, I've decided to leave sooner. Because the last one, we were talking and I ended it like 3 months in, when typically it would be longer. But I had a conversation with myself after I left my ex-fiance that I'm not doing this anymore. The first red flag, I have to leave, because we have nothing but time. And I wasted 3 years with that one, 5 years with this, 7 years with that. Like, I'm just not going to waste my time.
Bro,
anymore.
that's so. It's almost heartbreaking because it's like everybody gonna have some type of mistake. Somebody like nobody's gonna be perfect, but because we've been through so much, you go. It's like we go through people and like you said, the first red flag, and it's like you cut them off, but it's like you gonna continue to do that with every single body because everybody's gonna have something that triggers or that's a red flag, right?
Yeah. But are you willing to see past that? Like, do you have discernment and say, okay, this was a person situation during that moment? Has that person changed? Are you willing to work through it? Or are you just going to run? Me personally, now moving forward, I have to work on kind of sticking it through because all of the relationships I ended up leaving, I'm the one that leaves. And they want to work it out, but like at some point, enough is enough. I'm not going to keep going through this. So I end up, leaving and they're not happy, but.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's what my bad, Alice. Like that's what I think about because it's like all of the trauma that we've been through, it does something to us. And we talking about Mike Tyson, and when he was talking about like he was talking to somebody, and basically the person was saying he got his heart broken, so he don't show up as that person anymore. And Mike was basically saying you let the devil win, right? Because that's what the devil is here to do, like to trick you, right? To confuse you. So it's basically like what happens is you are this nice person. The devil comes along and just keep chipping away from this nice person. So you eventually harden your heart and you become an artificial piece of yourself, right? And that's like now I won because now you aren't that nice person anymore. So now I got somebody else on my side. But it's like almost you damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you almost feel like you have to become this person or you then continue to be hurt.
Right.
And it's like, yo, how do we balance the two?
Protect your peace. Protect your peace. Peace over everything. I don't care who you are, a mama, a daddy. If you're disturbing my peace, I'm going to cut you off. I haven't spoken to my mom in 4 years. And, I love her. She's been there, but she's not peaceful. She's not my peace. She's not. She's not.
That's so hard too.
It is.
I feel like that's why when you even said about the relationship with your parents, it's like as millennials, I don't know if you're a millennial or not.
88.
Oh, okay, cool. I think I have no idea. So I was born in 91.
Okay.
So people our age or close to our age, I know we had to learn how to say no to our parents. But we learned that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, we learned that late, right? Like, I didn't understand that I had the power to say no to my moms until I was probably like 30 or 28, 29 maybe, right? And now it'll be easy for our kids, right? Because then we create them boundaries and we allow them to have their own boundaries.
Right.
But we didn't know them. We didn't even know what boundaries, we didn't even know that existed. But at the same time, it still comes to a point where, I mean, we talk about the Bible all the time, honor thy father and mother and your days will be longer. It's like, it's a balance of having boundaries with your parents, but still honoring your mother and honoring your father. And it's like, that's a hard, for me anyway, that's a hard conversation to have with yourself. Like, how do I love my moms and be here for her as I should be, but still have that boundary when I know she just doesn't bring me peace. She is not right. She's not good for my mental health, my mental headspace.
Love from a distance. If she ever call you, text you, pick up, answer, and then that's it. But my mom is stubborn, so she's not going. We've been on and off. And this last 3 years, I'm always being the bigger person. And I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore because I have a child. And you were in and out of my life. You're not going to do this to my son. I'm changing that narrative. You're not going to be in and out of my son's life because you are upset at me and you want to be in and out of my son's life. You need to be consistent. Because the last thing I want is my son to be healing from grandma or from me. Because adults, we act off of childhood trauma.
Damn.
One component that, like, as you were talking that I think about with healing is like forgiveness, right? And we always talk about forgiveness for the other person, but like when you talk about the cycle, one thing that I think we don't think about is like forgiveness or like forgiving yourself, and just listening to you. I guess my question is, what does that look like for you? Like forgiving yourself, what did that process of forgiving yourself for the trauma that you have gone through look like so that you can make these discerning decisions moving forward?
It was just me looking into the mirror and like, you just have to stop what you're doing. It's clearly your pattern. I'm clearly choosing the wrong men, so I have to change what I'm doing. Like, love me first. So I definitely had to, work on that because I love others. My, I guess, love language, I like to see people happy. That's how I get fulfilled in love, seeing other people happy. Like, if my spouse likes to take trips, I'm going to book a trip, all-inclusive trip, because that's making you happy. But I had to change that and make me happy first. If I like to do X, Y, Z, I'm going to do it. If I like flowers, I'm going to buy myself flowers. If I like trips, I'm going to buy, take myself on a trip. Take solo trips, go to the bar, restaurant by yourself.
Yeah, what do you say to a young lady that's coming up? She might be going through the same thing you was going through a few years ago, right? Like, because, like, on one side, I hear you, and it's like, I definitely empathize because when you're going through it, who can tell you anything? I'm pretty sure you had people trying to tell you, get out of there, don't do that. Like, you don't hear that. Like, how can we pierce the hearts of the woman who might be going through abusive relationships for them to hear it? Is it even possible?
They have to come to the light themselves. Like, as a friend or family member, support your family or family member. Give your opinion, but try not to be judgmental. Because if you're judgmental, they're only going to pull away. And then they're not going to share with you what's going on anymore. Because one, they're going to feel embarrassed. They're going to feel like you're going to judge them and that you're not supportive.
Wow. No, I think I was talking to somebody, I did an interview, and she had a relationship that was like back and forth. And she said something that a lot of people didn't agree with, but I thought it was dope. She was like, my friends, when I tell them things, like, they not telling me leave that man. And if they are, right, I'll probably distance myself from them friends. Like, my friends are the ones that support me. Like, even if they might joke, like, Gary, you dumb, but I'm here with you. We dumb together, right?
Right.
And it's like, that could be, as toxic as that might sound, what does that do to the person that's in the situation? It makes you feel comfortable. Like, it makes you feel like I can. So when I do go through things, I will come to you, right? So if it does ever get super serious, you can get some help, right? Because what happens is if you judge me so much and you tell me this and I shouldn't be doing this, I'm gonna stop coming to you.
Right.
So now when it gets to a point where I really need the help, I mean, we always need the help, but like, when like life or death, I will come to you. But when you judging, I'm not gonna come to you. You never know. That's how it get too late, and it's like boom. It's like my friend, and I don't never want to go.
Because I have judgmental friends and I have friends that are supportive no matter what. And like you said, I'm going to go to the friend that's supportive and tell her and speak to her. Because at the end of the day, she may not like what I'm doing or agree with what I'm doing or who I'm with and how I'm going about things. But whether it goes left or right, she's going to be there at the end with no judgment at all. So and that's the type of friends and support we need.
But there is light at the end of the tunnel, right?
There is.
Now you came out of all of that, what they say, out of the concrete a rose grew, right? You up getting M's, making all this money, coaching people, getting coached, and you become a nurse practitioner to have your own practice. What made you go the route of like weight loss, weight management?
So in 2021, I actually got on Ozempic for health conditions. I'm a type 2.
Okay.
And I found out I was type 2, 10 years ago. And me just being in the health field, I thought the worst. Oh, I'm going to lose my eye. They're going to chop my leg off. I'm going to need dialysis. So that was like, it was very emotional for me. And I was actually in nurse practitioner school when I got diagnosed with it. My doctor called and was like, your A1C is elevated. It's borderline. Let's try diet and exercise.
Yep.
But at the time I'm in school, I don't have time. I'm working for free doing clinicals, still have to work. Like, I don't have time. So, diet exercise didn't work. So she put me on the Ozempic. And then I lost the weight and combination of stress with going through a divorce and COVID, lost the weight and my numbers got better.
It's funny because like I went to my not my last one. So I had recently lost like 40 pounds because I went to the doctor. And it was like my A1C was elevated. It was like, you're not type 2. Same thing. It's just borderline. So, exercise, stay away from like baked goods and things like that. I ended up losing like 40 pounds just working out. I was like, what? Like, so I feel exactly how you, honestly, know exactly what you mean. So you that happens to you when you say, I want to now invest, or I want to be able to prescribe people Ozempic. Like, tell me, like, how did it go from you needing it to, all right, I want to do this for myself so I can help other people?
So when I first graduated, I worked in women's health, which was Planned Parenthood, as everybody know, and started working there. They do like STD testing, birth control, but then they started to do abortion services. And, you know, everybody have their opinion on that.
Crazy days, boy. People used to be standing outside of Planned Parenthood, like, don't go in. Like, bro, get out the way. My bad. It's not funny, but they used to be out front, like, Jay, how you know? Hey, just your mind. Y'all like, hey, don't, get out the way. My bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
So people have their opinion on that. I'm pro-choice because, you know, certain situations, you could have got raped. There could be a deformity with the baby. At where I'm at in my life, I would not elect to have an abortion because I've had 3 miscarriages. So that's not something, you know, I would do at this point. But there are situations when. So during that time when they added those services, I was pregnant with my son. You know, hormones all over the place, emotional. And they was like, well, what aspect of it do you want? Do you want to do the intake, which is like taking the patients in? Do you want to do the ultrasound piece? Or do you want to do like giving the medication that they need before they go in the back for the procedure? I'm like, do I have a choice?
Yeah, I'm like, none of it. Like, you got pregnant. Yeah, I don't want to do none of this.
I don't want to do none of this. Like, I'm carrying a baby and about to deliver a baby, and these individuals are coming in to do the opposite. So it was very emotional for me. So I started with the ultrasounds, and it was a young lady. She came in. Basically, she got pregnant by an individual that she knew wasn't going to be supportive, and she didn't want to put herself in that situation. And she was pregnant with twins. And we asked them, like, hey, do you want to know if it's 1 or 2? And, you know, and she said that she didn't want to know, but she was pregnant with twins, and she went through it. But it was like that moment, I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not. Then COVID happened. I had to travel. I had to leave my son with my mom. So I was going through a divorce. I was purchasing a home, and then I had to leave my son with my mom for 3 months.
Damn.
And work 12 hours, 6 days straight, 1 day off. So that was tough. That was really, really tough. I missed things with my son. He missed me, obviously, was going through it with his dad. It was a lot. So I got back home and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this. So I'm like, okay, I need to figure something out. So I got a contract with the veterans. So I was doing like disability exams for veterans. And it was kind of like, you know, laid back, not as stressful, but I'm like, I'm still having to go in person to do this. So I'm like, well, how can I still treat patients and make a difference? So the Ozempic boom hit. Ozempic. And I'm like, well, I'm on it. Let me see. So I had one contract that they started getting a influx of patients that wanted to be prescribed the Ozempic. And it's like, well, can you see these patients? So I started seeing their patient. I'm like, well, if they doing that, I can start my own practice. So I invested in a mentor, and then I started my weight loss.
Wow. How long you been doing it?
For 5 years.
Wow. Sheesh. Let me ask you this then. I'm going to go back and forth. With Ozempic, of course, every time something get popular, a lot of hate and negativity go towards it. What are some of the, I guess, the misconceptions that people might joke about and it's not true? Like, you know, like people might make fun of people who's on Ozempic. What are some of those things that you can clear the air about?
They think, oh, it's going to cause cancer or cause gallbladder issues or pancreas issues. You have to listen. Any medication that we take is going to cause something. And we don't know that it's going to cause something until time has passed. You have high blood pressure or diabetes, your doctor say, okay, you're borderline diabetic or type 2, let's put you on metformin. You're not going to question that. So why are you questioning the Ozempic? Which obesity is a comorbidity. Obesity is a disease that can affect everything. If you're obese, you may develop hypertension, which is high blood pressure. You may develop diabetes, erectile dysfunction, all of that, because you're overweight. And when my patients get on the medication, they get on Ozempic or Mounjaro, they're able to get off the medication. They don't have to take blood pressure medicine no more or diabetes medication no more. They're able to look good, feel good. They're able to have babies. So I get a lot of patients who, they've been trying, they're overweight, and they have to lose the weight, and they lose the weight, and they're able to have a successful pregnancy.
But it's still like stereotypes around, or stigmas, negative stigmas around people that do it, like you lazy, like everybody on Ozempic. I'm pretty sure you heard, like, people just always talk stuff about you on Ozempic, like and even joke, like when I lost the weight, like, you on Ozempic? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a running joke now.
Yeah. People automatically think, oh, you lose weight, you're on Ozempic. No, you can do it with diet and exercise. Ozempic is just an addition to the diet and exercise. Even though some people use it and don't diet or they don't exercise. But to get lifelong results, you need to diet and exercise while you're on the medication.
What do you say to those lazy people, I guess? I don't want to call them lazy, but people that just, they feel like they can't exercise. Like, I just want the easy way.
You're going to have flabby skin.
Okay. Okay.
You're going to have flabby skin. If you're just going to lose the weight and not do any weight training, any cardio, you're going to have flabby skin. And you're not going to like your results, especially if they're starting off on the heavier side and you lose all that weight fast. It's not good. When you lose weight fast, you're going to have flabby skin. You may get hair loss because you're losing it too fast.
Yeah. How many employees do you have? Because you said it's your own practice. Like, how many employees do you have?
I have one right now. Yeah.
Why only one?
It's a control thing for me. But now that I'm like teaching other nurse practitioners, I'm going to do more of teaching and less of patient care personally, and have my employees do the patient care.
Where do you think most people go wrong when they have their own practice?
Fear. They're like, oh, they have the website, they have the LLC, they don't do the marketing.
Okay.
Piece.
No, I asked that because I know a couple nurse practitioners. One in particular, she has her own practice, but she has a building. Have clients. I think it's mostly virtual as well. But like, she has a staff as well. And I'm just wondering, like, how do you scale that business? Like, what are some things that you can teach a young nurse practitioner with their own business? And they trying to scale, and they just like, man, this is hard. I got payroll. I got so many things to worry about. I'm barely getting by.
Yeah. So for that particular nurse practitioner, if her services are something that she can do virtually, close that brick and mortar down and do it virtually. I have a mentee that she had a virtual, and again, she had a lot of overhead, and she like, the math's not mathing. So she signed on with me, and I'm like, the services you're providing, you can do that virtually. So your overhead is like cut. My office is in my home, so you're not paying rent. Like, my business pays for everything. The light bill, the cell phone, my computer, like, your overhead is cut. So you're getting most of the revenue. You
think people do that because of, like, it's a look? Like, I got
aesthetic.
My own building. Yeah, like.
Yeah, it's a look, but them pockets, it's not heavy. You putting out more.
Did you ever have to wrestle with that? Like, the idea of, like, getting that brick and mortar? Or were you always like, this is the virtual route?
No, I wanted to have a primary care clinic while I was in school. But then I fastly learned during my clinical rotation, I did most of it in primary care. I'm like, oh, and I'm not doing this. This is too much. And then I'm not doing a brick and mortar.
All right, so you've been doing this for 5 years. You teach other people how to do this. How many, you got one staff, but how many clients do you have?
A lot. On one platform, if I log in, it shows how many patients I have helped over the past 5 years, and it's over 6,000.
Damn. How many do you have on board right now? Like, just
patient wise, about 7, including the contracts. I have 5 contracts, and then my practice.
Wait, explain it to me.
So I have my practice where it's all me. I see the patients. I also do 1099 contractor. So I'm a private contractor for these bigger companies. So like Hims and Hers, Found, and they specialize in weight loss. So like, I'm family, so I can see from babies to old adults. But the last 5 years, I've specialized in weight loss. So my practice and the contracts I get are just strictly weight management. So I have that clientele as well with the contracts. So I sign in, I see their patients for them, and then I'm done.
Okay. Like what? How does this conversation go? I guess. Like I'm just trying to understand at this point.
With the patient.
Yeah.
So they'll book an appointment for weight management. Some of like the intake questions will ask them like what medication you will prefer. But at the end of the day, you know, me as the provider, I will make that decision based on their medical history, family history, if they have any disease processes going on at the moment, and then we just go from there. Like, hey, we'll do this. This is the initial dose. You're going to take this once a week for 4 weeks, and we'll have a follow-up in 4 weeks. I don't order more than 4 weeks so that they can follow up, so that you don't lose 20 pounds in a month and people are like, oh, you on that Ozempic? No, we're going to monitor this.
Okay. And you said it's 7, but it's still contracts, or 7 altogether?
Altogether.
All right. So, and you don't charge, you don't use insurance, you were saying?
Nope, all cash base.
Why is that? I would think you make more money if you get insurance. Like everybody that get into the health field, I'm thinking like, yo, the insurance is the play. That's how you get money, and it's easy.
So for one, in the beginning when COVID hit, because people were scared to go be seen, like the telemedicine, telehealth was new. So insurances didn't, like they weren't caught on how to reimburse us as providers if we're seeing patients virtually versus in clinic. You're going to get more seeing the patient in clinic. But now things have changed. The reimbursement rates are higher if you see the patient virtually, because that's where it's going. Everything's going to virtual. Like there's a lot of visits that you don't have to go in the office to see. Now there's some that you're going to have to go. Like if a patient say they having chest pain, oh, go to the ER. I can't see you. But like weight management, or if you're refilling a prescription or you're doing diabetes management, you don't have to go like in person.
Yeah, no, I've seen that actually. I went to go get my eye checked, and they're like, hey, it's going to be a remote visit. I was like, okay, but they made me go to the actual doctor's office. But when they patched in, like the doctor just patched in on the screen, and they had all the equipment remote. I don't know how it worked out, but
I mean, actually, it's a difference between like owning a business and actually practicing, like the actual practice, right? Like so, but it sounds like you do both.
Yeah.
What's the difference between like just like owning it? Like if I own it, then I could have other doctors under me, but do I have to have the degree and stuff myself as well? Like, tell me the difference.
Yes. So if you're gonna be have a nurse practitioner owned virtual practice, you have to actually be the provider. But you can not be the provider starting off and just hire providers for you to see the patients for you, where you're just managing. And
you don't need no degree or nothing?
No. All these big telemedicine companies, they like in IT. They're not in health. They're in IT. They're starting these businesses and they're hiring us. So that's where the contracting part come. They're hiring nurse practitioners to do the patient care because they don't have degrees in that. They have degrees in business management, business administration, IT, and they're hiring us to do the patient care, because that's what we went to school for. That's our skill set.
So when I'm coming to get coached by Ebony, right, are you trying to coach people to get to that level? Like, what am I getting from this coaching session or this mentorship that I'm just trying to understand?
So it's 2 aspects. So I asked them, do they want to get into the contracting where they will, work remotely? Because a lot of nurse practitioners, they're still working in the clinic, having to commute back and forth to, work, miss time with their kids, miss vacations, asking if if they want to take a vacation for PTO. I don't have to do any of that. I make my schedule. I tell them when I want to work, whether it's my practice or the contracts. So I asked them, do you want to do contracting? Which I then will advise them, okay, well, this company is hiring. You need X amount of licenses. You need this type licenses. Or if you want to go the route of starting your own practice, we can do that as well. And I have some that are doing both because I do both. So if you're going to do the contracting, there's top licenses. I recommend Florida, New York, Texas, Michigan, Oregon, and California. And those top licenses will make you more marketable to these companies to hire you on as a contractor so you can start making money remotely.
Is it a pro or con of having, because I feel like the space, the climate that we are in now, everybody want to have their own business. Whereas the contracting, it sounds like a job, but essentially.
Yeah, but you're the business. You're the business. It's still a job. So you're not working W-2. You're still making your own schedule. You're an independent contractor for that company. So you are the business.
Okay.
So when you're getting these checks, it's going to your business.
Why would somebody do one over the other?
Fair. So I have some nurse practitioners who are not get ready to start their practice because where I'm going to find patients, this, that, and the third, but I help with the marketing and the patient acquisition.
So how do you find patients though?
Marketing.
Like Instagram?
Instagram, yep. Google ads, Bing ads. I teach them how to find patients for free. So if their niche is weight management, which I teach all different niches. Mm-hmm. So if it's weight management, they will go into Facebook groups that are already talking about the Ozempic, semaglutide, tirzepatide, and just get a flyer made. Like, hey, I just opened, it's my grand opening of my virtual practice, Radiance Wellness, and I'm running a special 20% off for the first 10 people. And you're going to have people sign up. And those 10 people that sign up, you nurture them.
Mm-hmm. How do you build trust though? Because if I'm just somebody that's like, I don't know, I got type 2 diabetes, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm not just about to just go to some random nurse practitioner, just give them my money. Like I don't trust.
Book that appointment, that first consultation. So that's what the consultation is. You build trust, you build a relationship, and if they want to move forward, they'll move forward. And then a lot of the patients, they love the practices that nurse practitioner owns versus the bigger telemedicine companies because they get a new provider each time. Whereas if it's your practice, they know, okay, I booked this appointment, I'm going to see Ebony. So like you have to think when you go to your primary, it's your primary every time. You built that trust and that relationship with them versus the bigger companies. It's a whole bunch of us on the platform.
All right. So me being from Baltimore, right? Let's get into this mentorship stuff. Mm-hmm. Before I got to Atlanta, I tell the story a lot. Before I got to Atlanta, I never even thought about mentorship. I never even thought about teaching. Like, bro, I'm just doing my thing as I do it, as I know it. When did you get into the mindset or the mentality from like, okay, I'm owning my business and I have contracts as well, to now I want to teach this and help other people get into this? Like, when did you walk into that space?
So I want to say it stemmed from a little girl because I wanted to be a teacher as a girl, little girl. So I always had that teaching in me, but of course my parents from the islands, you ain't gonna make no money being a teacher. So then I got into college and I was going the med route, and because of that, abusive relationship, I had a tough semester, which I was a straight A, B student. I had a tough semester and I'm like, I can't do this. I don't think I'm gonna get into medical school, I'm like, and I still want to help people. So, I went the nursing route and I applied to nursing school. And one thing that the advisor told me, she was like, life happens. Mm-hmm. People go through things. We're not going to judge you off of one semester when we see before and after you've been, been doing good. So we're not going to judge you on that, one moment in your life. So I wanted to be, teach and still do nursing, still take care of patients. So I was already making inpatient care alone, already making 70, 80K a month working.
Damn.
Yeah. Between my contracts and my practice.
Crazy.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, I can only see but so much patients on my own or hire other nurse practitioners. I want to teach other nurse practitioners how to do this. I can't be the only one knowing how to, get this. I want to teach. So when I went to that event with my CPA, met my seeing my mentor that first time, Dion, Mr. Phenomenal, seeing him, and he's like, he makes $1 million in a day teaching his expertise. And I'm like, well, I'm an expert in this. I can teach this. So then I seen him again in December and then again in April. And I'm like, look, is this a sign? Is God telling me just go ahead and do it? Because I'm a person, I'm not scared to spend money. I'm not scared to invest in myself. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. If it fails, just get up and start over again.
Right. So me and Dion have a pretty decent relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And I can only imagine, because I don't know his numbers. What I'm saying is I don't know his business model, right? Mm-hmm. But when somebody says I make $1 million in a day, me being a business owner, I'm only thinking, well, if he makes $1 million in a day, his ticket got to be expensive. We got a lot of clients, or one of the, or both, right? Mm-hmm. You not having a mentor before, what made you like trust this person that you just met at an event to pay your money to get mentorship from?
I watched them for a few months. Yeah, watched and studied. I looked at his other success stories, other people that he was helping. I'm like, these people are really getting to it. Really get into it.
How did you know that for sure? Again, being from up north, I'm skeptical on everything. I don't believe nothing. These niggas is lying. That's what I think, right? I'm just, but clearly it's working for you. But I'm saying before you got into it, like, how was you so how watching them, like, what was one thing that was like, okay, I believe it?
There was a nurse that he had helped, and I watched her page and see what she was doing. I'm like, okay, she's a nurse, she's in my field. If she can do it, I can do it. If she can get results, I can do it. And I'm just like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to pay.
Do you have any advice now you went through it and you see the results for yourself for non-believers?
Just start. People are fearful of starting. People are not comfortable being uncomfortable. I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I guess I'm talking about as far as mentorship though. Like people that's skeptical on mentorship. Like what would you say to that person that's trying to get to the next level? Like to
watch the person, see the results. Like if they align with your beliefs and they are in a position where you want to be, just go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I just know.
Yeah.
My first time really hearing about the mentorship thing, again, I thought everything was a scam. I'm everything.
Yeah.
They all scamming. And then I got down here, I'm like, oh, no, you can really teach what you know.
Yeah.
And even if you don't, I say this a lot. The girl, Donnie Wiggins, she said something powerful at her and David's first millionaire in a year conference. And it was basically like a lot of people don't teach because they're afraid, like they trying to get you from A to Z, not understanding that somebody will pay for you to teach them to get to A to B. Like whatever, you might know A to G, and somebody will pay you to get that information, and you can teach that. We always want to like help people get from A to Z when honestly we don't even know how to get to A to Z yet. So you can just teach them what you know, and that's not scamming. Like it's so many people that teach this and want to learn it, and they'll pay for it. And I had to learn that. I didn't. Man, I just started learning about mentorship.
It's good. We pay for college. I'm $160K in debt. I pay for that degree. It's working for me. But there's some people that go to college, they're not even using the degree. You took that chance, you took that risk and paid for college. So do that with mentorship.
Yeah. I'm glad that you mentioned that because a lot of times, like, what we don't understand is like college is a foundational introduction to whatever practice that we're trying to get into. But it's always a part of building with real world experiences and things of that nature. For you, I hear the pipeline from mentorship and wanted that, but how do you continue to build that ideology and philosophy day to day?
As far as like mentorship?
Higher education.
Yeah, like, because like, how do you grow from that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, would you get more mentorship? Like, what does that look like? Because we talk about A to Z's, like you got that A to B, but what does that look like next?
So you will have some people that join the mentorship and they just join it because they want the support or the family, or they just want to join it because you having the meet and greets or trips.
They want that proximity.
Yeah. And you have some people that they're going to join and they're not going to like get to Z. And you as a mentor, you have to understand that that's not on you. It's on them.
I had to learn that,
Yeah. You're given the resources, but if they're not using the resources, that's not on you at all.
So you say you about to get into mentoring yourself now. Have you got any mentees yet or no?
Yes, I have 20 in this cohort. Yeah.
Damn. Oh, so it's already started.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So wait, how does, like, let's say somebody want to get mentored by you now, like they gotta wait till the next one, like.
No, I'm still taking there's a few spots left. I do host webinars and masterclasses where I teach how to get the high paying 1099 contracts, how to start growing skill, your a virtual practice. And then also those who already either have a virtual practice or they have a brick and mortar, how to increase the revenue by adding weight management to their practice.
I'm going to challenge you a little bit. You ready? Might be different from anything you ever experienced.
Okay.
I want you to give away some money right now for a young lady that might be serious, right? Because we know that most times you give people information, they ain't gonna use it. They don't ever really respect nothing until they pay for it, right? We know that.
Right.
But it's somebody out there who's super hungry and that's gonna listen to everything you say. Give them some free game that might take money out your pocket, right? They're like, how do they get the high ticket? If you could give me from A to Z right here, free masterclass, just, you know what I'm saying? Run through it. How would somebody go from being a nurse practitioner to getting a high paying contract? How would they do that?
One, get the top licenses: Florida, New York, Arizona, Texas, Michigan, and Oregon.
All of them?
Yes.
How much
and then,
are they?
They average from 1 to up to 3
Where did they get them from?
from each board of nursing. So what I teach my mentees, so this is some sauce. So there's something called RN Compact. So you can get multiple licenses fast. I went from 4 to 25 last summer.
Wow.
Right. So the method I did, you want to get the RN Compact. So compact means there's a few states out of the 50 states that's within this organization. So if you get your RN Compact, so for example, in Florida, you get your RN Compact, you're able to apply for other states and just get your nurse practitioner.
It's
You
like
don't have to
gun
do
license almost.
RN.
Yeah, it's like reciprocity.
Okay.
in a sense,
You don't
yeah.
have to do RN and your nurse practitioner. So that's how you're able to get it fast and save money too.
Okay.
So you do that. And then once you do that, a website that I use is theremonenurse.com. They have virtual positions.
Okay. So
That they
you
post
already have
every
to
day.
have your nurse practitioner. Like you already have to have that school education first.
Yeah.
That's the baseline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
You have that. You get your RN Compact,
Mm-hmm.
right?
RN Compact.
And then you apply for the what's names. And then how do we get the contracts?
So I teach them how to optimize their resume.
How do you do it? Tell me right now.
So
Give me
if
some
you're
game. I need the sauce.
So if you're applying for a contract that they're prescribing Ozempic, semaglutide, tirzepatide, put that on your resume. I see patients virtually. You need to put keywords: telehealth, telemedicine, virtually. I've prescribed semaglutide, Ozempic for these patients. I've done weight management counseling for these patients so when we apply for the contracts, there's something called ATS tracking, applicant tracking system.
Mm-hmm.
A computer is going to see your resume first before it goes in front of a hiring manager.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have those keywords, it's not going to go past that computer system. If you have those keywords, it's going to go past that computer system in front of an individual hiring manager. And then you're going to get that call to have that interview.
Okay. Do you help with like interview prep too?
Mm-hmm.
Like what are some give me 3 key components that people need to know when they about to do an interview.
You want to tell the interviewer a story, like why you want to get into providing weight management, and don't say just, because I want to help patients lose weight. You want to change their life, whether they're, getting rid of the diabetes, hypertension, getting them off the cholesterol medication, or spicing things up, in their marriage, having them just feel and look good. And then I tell them before applying, make sure you get those top licenses. And on your resume, this is another trick. Even if you're licensed in one state, you want to put on your resume the pending states. So if you know there's 5 states that you're going to apply for, go ahead and put that on your license, because they will hire you on as a contractor pending those licenses. Because I had a mentee that got hired and she only had the state of Florida. And she got hired.
What is some game to keep the contracts? Because I know like contracts can come and go super fast.
Well, there's one company that I have, they're not going anywhere. Yeah, and my mentees are making money. I have a mentee who's in Africa right now making money with this one particular contract.
All right, I think I got enough sauce from you. I'm just pushing. I'm trying to push the limit.
Right.
All right. So all right. One more. How long are we? How far are we in? Like an hour in. 53. All right, cool. 53 minutes in. If they watch this long, they deserve this. How can we? I want to help somebody out.
Okay.
Like you got mentorship. You have coaching sessions as well. Like how can we help one young lady that's super serious about it? Like maybe like a raffle thing. I don't know. Like if she does something, then you will give her a free something. Like I don't know. You make it up.
Okay. So someone who's motivated, ready to start, follow me, Dr. E _ the virtual MP. Send it to 5 other nurse practitioners. Tag me, and I will have a one-on-one call with them.
How much do you charge for your one-on-one calls?
$500.
$500. You want to do that for free?
Yes, I will do it for free.
Shake her hand, man. Make sure she
For free.
So what they gotta do?
camera.
They gotta follow you first.
Mm-hmm.
Send this interview
Yes.
to 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
Tag you.
Mm-hmm.
Say done.
Yes.
And then you gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And book a one-on-one call with
You
me.
heard it. You heard it first.
Yes.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
Yes.
This is good. Is there anything that we didn't hit on that we probably like, any missed opportunities? See, you was nervous.
I will say one thing. If you're going to be searching for contracts on your own, do not take per hour contracts, do per patient contracts. So I'm going to explain. So say, nurse practitioner, we get paid $60, $75 an hour, give or take. If you get a contract and you're getting paid $70 an hour, you're just getting paid for that hour, and they may throw 10 patients on your schedule for that hour. But if you're doing per patient or per visit, I have a contract that they pay $20 per patient. So I'm able to see 6 patients in that hour. So that already is $120 an hour. You can see more. You can do $140, $150 an hour. Versus if you're getting a per hour contract, you're seeing all those patients, but you're only getting 70.
How do you demand that if you're just looking for a gig, right? Like
you don't apply for the one that says per hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just do per patient visit. And they'll say it on the job description, on the contract description, that this is per hour, this is per visit.
Is it just as many per hour, per person jobs open as it is per hour?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
And I see more of 1099 contracting versus W-2.
Wow.
Yeah. Because you're a self-contractor. That's less that the business itself has to do. Because you're a self-contractor. They don't have to worry about insurance, health insurance, dental, vision. You're a contractor for their business.
All right. And they pay you directly, so you don't have to worry about the insurance thing.
Nope.
All right, that makes sense, man. That's dope. I appreciate you. For one more time, where to follow you, support you, whatever you got going on and everything.
All right. Dr. E _ the virtual MP on Instagram and TikTok. I do host live masterclasses, webinars. I will be hosting one soon. You can also sign up, thenursepreneuracademy.com.
That's good, man.
That's good.
You got any more questions, bro?
Nope.
Yes, man. Ebony, we appreciate you. 1%
truly.
better show. I hope you guys got 1% better than you were yesterday listening to this episode today. Mr. J Hill.
Alexander DeBonk.
It's a wrap. We out. Gang.